Hi, and welcome to today's podcast. Every company's goal is to grow revenue and expand across regions, but not every business reaches that stage. So, a major reason is management, how we manage money, projects, and of course, how well do we grow it. And I am Sirin from Urva Events, and joining me today, we have Peter from Nurture Spark. So, Peter, if you can tell us what is the ERP solutions in layman's term?
Yes, ERP stands for Enterprise Resource Planning,
Okay.
but nobody understands that at the first go. But I like to think of ERP as a B2B solution. Now, what do you mean by B2B solutions? That means we provide business software to
Okay.
help business streamline and automate their process, removing any manual intervention. So everything is kept tracked of and managed better. Now, what's the difference between B2B and B2C basically? Our target audience, our main primary customers is businesses.
Okay.
And what do I mean by that is our customers are our end users. So the people who are interacting with us and, you know, having calls with us, they are at the end going to use the software. So it gives us a better chance of being very accurate in our implementations.
Okay. Every business starts with customers, but many small companies still track leads in Excel and Google Sheets. So they forget follow-ups and to send quotations and all these kind of stuff. So Peter, let me ask you, what is a CRM and why should every company use one to manage customers and sales?
Thank you. Very good question, actually. What a CRM stands for is customer relation management. But what I like to think of is I call it centralized relation management. Back in the day, people think of a CRM where leads come in, you manage them, you mark them as lost, you mark them as won, and you can see the conversion rate. All of that is required and very true. But over here right now, coming to the relation between a CRM and an ERP is it's an integrated system. You have
Okay.
from all your social media platforms, uh, Facebook, Instagram, Google Ads, your website, WhatsApp messaging, all of these messages are all synced to the CRM. So you got all of your pipeline all integrated with the CRM. And
Okay.
from there, it is auto assigned to people. Say you have a team of 100 salesmen, it's difficult to assign them. Maybe we do a round robin or we do a data assignment and it gets assigned to the relevant uh, sales representative. They do a conversion, XYZ. But right now, all of this is done manually, and it leaves a lot of money on the table because customers are followed up very late. Customers are maybe they send out an email, or they send a reminder has to go out, but it does not go out. So we leave money on the table. And in this age of time, the really competitive companies do use CRM. They use it to a very wide extent and they use it very exclusively. So in order to compete and not to leave any money on the table, because uh, customer left behind is a customer lost. So in order
Mhm.
not to do this, we have a CRM and everything is centralized, managed centralized. So your emails, your WhatsApp messages all take place on the CRM. Even your calls take place on the CRM.
Okay.
So it's right there. So the whole history of that customer, who was contacted, when they have contacted, why they have contacted is all recorded on that CRM. So I like to think of it as a centralized relationship management.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's so nice. You make it sound so easy, but I need to definitely jump into that because keeping track, making notes, and all these things,
Eh,
I feel
You
it
know who to
makes a
call
lot.
then.
Yeah, exactly. And whom I missed calling, or sometimes memory loss happens as well. But perfect. Thanks.
Exactly.
So, just the next one, okay now. And how does Zoho CRM specialize help sales team increase revenue?
Oh, absolutely. I can highlight several use cases over here where companies were using CRMs, a primary CRM,
Okay.
where they were managing the leads. Everything that I've said was there. But again, I like to think of CRM as an ERP. They wanted to connect this, they want to integrate with that, WhatsApp, phone numbers, uh, projects, books,
Okay.
the accounting system, because when a deal is closed, they want to integrate with the accounting system. All of this was not possible. But it's possible with an ERP because everything is integrated. It's like a car.
Okay.
Your CRM is the engine, it's a centralized system,
Hmm.
and everything around it, the wheels, the steering, the gearbox, everything is connected to the CRM.
Okay.
So this is where companies, where they came to me and they were not only able to increase sales because obviously everything is tracked and everything is managed, but they were also able to drive efficiency. So when you
Okay.
drive efficiency, it's not about getting sales that improves the company's revenue. It's also about efficiency, your KPIs, how everyone is able to operate with ease
Okay.
after use of the system. So a lot of these businesses, when they used Zoho CRM, they were able to be in sync. All departments were able to be on sync. It was no that he said that and she said that. Oh, but he was supposed to remind me. Everything was streamlined out there. So this is what Zoho CRM does. Is its integratability capabilities are amazing. You can integrate with almost anything, and you can also customize the CRM to a point where a business doesn't even have to change its process. So this is what Zoho's CRM brings to the table.
Nice. So do you like have a real example?
Example, real estate.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, a real estate company would like to integrate their CRM with some of the portals, Bayou, Dubizzle, Property Finder. Now, this CRM basically wants to integrate not only with this portal but also retrieve the leads,
Okay.
retrieve the inquiries that come in. So when they're using the CRM, they're not only using the capabilities within the CRM, they also want to use third-party applications. So this real estate agency did come to us and wanted to utilize the integratability uh, of the CRM, Zoho CRM, and that's what we did. We integrated with the three main property portals, and we were also able to retrieve the information from there and directly assign to the agent. So this saved loads of time. Before even closing a deal, everyone was accountable, everybody was trackable. They knew
Mm.
exactly what they needed to do, who they need to close, what is the status of this lead. So at the first goal, they were efficient, you know.
Okay.
And now when it comes to closing deals and on our obviously Zoho CRM is is not like up in the clouds. Obviously that comes up to the sales per person, the company's pricing, but they were able to manage or rather effectively operate. So the real estate companies,
Okay.
they really
Nice.
did make use of the Zoho CRM.
Wow. Nice. Excellent. Okay, moving on next now. I'd like to ask you some more things. Like for example, sales is revenue in, but managing money properly decides survivals. So many business still depends on manual records and outdated systems. So Peter, what are the common mistakes companies make in this area? If you
When in
can.
regards to finance, basically, no honey, no money. So in regards to finance, a lot of these companies they do run their financial as transaction manually on Excel sheets,
Okay.
and on the payroll also is run manually. And what happens is it's all good. You can have an efficient accountant, you can have an accountant, you can have a finance team that does all of this. But I'm like, why track it manually on an Excel sheet? Where you can
Mm.
track it in a system which is more efficient, sends you reminder on each customer's invoice, can track your forecasts automatically, can track how much revenue has come to the business. You can also integrate your bank, so you can see the transactions
Okay.
that are coming in, going out. So everything is tracked properly. You don't need to have a finance team of like 5 to 6 people. It can all be managed by one person who's just entering it into the system, and it's automatically taken over by the system. The VAT filings, the corporate tax, everything is done automatically by the system. But in order to stay compliant now, so here comes the mandatory part. In order to stay compliant, it's do or die. You need to
Okay.
use an accounting software. Uh, doesn't have to be Zoho, but Zoho does it all, I
Okay.
would say. It can be, but in order to do VAT filing correctly, in order to do corporate tax, in order to avoid a fine, you have to go with the compliant software. And this is what finance does as well. Now, I used to work in a company, my previous company, they used to do their payroll manually. It used to take
Mhm.
them up to 5 days to run a payroll. 5 days to run a payroll because everyone's giving their receipts. Everyone is, like, okay, I got to submit this, I got to submit that, I got to calculate any deductions automatically, I got to calculate any overtime payments. All of this is sat down and calculated by a person who's prone to make mistakes over here. Understood?
Okay.
But in coming to the payroll side of things, it's automatically done. It's automatically streamlined. If somebody forgets to check in, check out, they can submit their tickets. This has to be approved and automatically reflects in their payroll. A 5 days task can be done in about 2 hours. So can you see that efficiency? You're paying a person a live person a salary, a finance team,
Mhm.
you're paying them a salary just to do this way. It can all be tracked and taken care of by an system.
Okay.
So I would always say, I mean, it's a no-brainer when it comes to finance. It's a no-brainer to use this system. Tomorrow, somebody wants to conduct an audit on your company. You want a loan.
Okay.
To do the audit, it would take like around 2 weeks if you're managing on Excel. But do an audit in books. would rather take less than a day,
Okay.
So yeah, that would
So
be my
it's easy to handle and to use this software.
absolutely. It's easy and it's compliant as well.
Okay.
Not to get into trouble, it's compliant. The
Nice.
viewers also are watching this, always be compliant. That would be my advice. Maybe don't come to me as well, but go to anywhere, but be compliant. Yeah.
Nice. And any examples you've seen?
Examples of course, I've seen a lot of examples. I mean, I can give you multiple examples. Actually, a lot of examples all in my head. I'm trying to like just cornerstone one example. Yes, I can give you another example of a real estate company. A lot of real estate companies, calculating commissions online, calculating commissions on an Excel sheet manually. What a headache, actually, because it's not as easy to calculate commissions because usually now two buyers are two, one seller, one buyer is involved, maybe two buyers, one seller is involved. Even sometimes an external person is involved,
Okay.
when it comes to calculation, the commission calculation. So in the payroll, right, basically everything is calculated and paid out at the end of the month. So, but these companies, every finance team in a real estate would complain that commission calculation at the end of the month is a headache.
Hmm.
There's one guy, he's like, Peter, I like you have so much hair or so on your head. Even I also had
Right.
that. But after working in a real estate finance team, the hair has disappeared. Then I'm like, why did you not reach out to me for the payroll? But the main thing is everything is streamlined. You can just edit everybody's commission percentage. It's automatically taken from the purchase price, calculate automatically, even if they're doing any custom calculation, if they're a new agent, if they're a senior agent, the percentage of is reflected differently against each agent. So this company was able to like to make payouts like that quickly. So there
Okay.
was no discrepancy or errors when they run the payroll. So this was a very good use case that I work with when it came to real estate. It was a market gap, and I'm glad that I filled that with giving them compliance software, and it also reflects back in their transaction in their books as a commission would be an expense, so it reflects indirectly in their book as an expense. So,
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. That makes sense. So he came like Peter or Peter.
yeah.
No. Okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
because moving on, okay, with the next one. So after sales comes projects, but projects often miss deadlines, causing loss in profit. So Peter, if you could tell us how to company lose money when projects are not tracked properly.
Oh, of course. I mean, a lot of business owners would relate over here that, not every deadline is on time. Not every deadline is met. Why we don't Siren, it's a simple saying over here. Nobody plans to fail. They fail to plan. So that is the
Ah,
primary aspect of it. They fail to plan. Nobody plans to fail. And with this being said, it's always good to track your work. We all write down things in our notebook, okay, or set
hmm,
reminders, alarms in our phones. But we need to use a proper tool, a project tool. And any project management tool, it makes sure people are accountable. They have a deadline. They call it a deadline for a reason. Deadline. So people are supposed to meet those deadlines. It's not like we arrive to a flight
hmm.
2 hours later. We arrive on time. If not, we leave. The same thing. The accountability is reflected in projects. So you have your name assigned. You got to do the task. You can plan it however you want to plan it. Agile, sprint planning, even if a simple waterfall method. Everything is planned, and everything is accounted for. Now, this is done by mostly every uh, project management tool. Every project management tool would uh, have task and assignment and whatever. But how Zoho stands out is again it's integrated. It's also integrated with your books. So if you want to
Okay.
have a timesheet or a cost per hour for each resource, it also reflects directly as a expense under that particular project. And it also can integrate with WhatsApp, SMS, so people can actually get a reminder even if they're not using mails or anything. They can actually get a reminder of it because it's highly integratable. Furthermore, um, again, like I said, different methodologies can be used. So companies have different ways of planning, different strategies. All of that can be met in Zoho projects.
Okay.
So, like I said, it's a no-brainer once again to go for Zoho projects. Yeah.
Nice. And how does Zoho project help business finish faster?
Oh, absolutely. Coming to a few points over here, it saves on to cost, because often people say that, oh, I was expecting the client to reply, oh, I was expecting Mr. Selva to give me the requirements on time. and
Okay.
he said, she said kind of things is over there. It keeps track of things, so it saves costs on the get-go. Uh, Secondly, everything like I said in my previous statement, everything is tracked. There's a checklist. People log in their hours, comment what they require help. Can even have a workflow in the projects. Example: if I complete a task, my manager has to approve it. So I change the status that my manager has to approve it. After my manager approving it, the client has to approve it. So the client
Right.
also approves it. Then it goes maybe for testing, whatever it might be, and then it gets marked as completed. So that full
Mhm.
workflow is directly managed over there. And this keeps track. And yeah, that's I think I said all I need to say.
And like, do you have like a client case?
A client case, client success story. Yes, of
If you
course
can
I have.
share it
Yeah,
with us, yeah.
an interior designing company. Now, if you look into this room, if I have to paint this wall, this thing, a paint has to come, inspection has to come, has to check everything is okay, the paint will reflect accordingly, the gypsum is done properly, the carpet is meeting the size of the room. So all of this is basically tracked on Excel, and so everybody comes in that Excel sheet and goes in and out. Somebody changes,
Mm.
somebody changes that. So now this interior design company wanted everything integrated because they usually subcontract. When a subcontract is an external cost, so they also wanted to track the costs at the same time. So you see how complex it's becoming. It's not as simple as logging an hours. So basically, what I have done is we have also given separate access to external subcontractors in the projects, and also internal team members were using the project and they were logging their hours properly. So at the end of the project, when people are saying, okay, done, carpet is done, wall is painted, gypsum tiles are fixed properly, plant is inserted,
Okay.
the company was able to calculate accurately. They don't need an estimator, they don't need anyone. They were able to calculate accurately what was the cost of putting that room and versus how much revenue or how much they have quoted the client. So from that information, they were able to efficiently give estimates out. They were able to efficiently track cost as well because they never knew how much they spent on the project and
Okay.
before using Zoho projects. Yeah.
Nice. Well, moving on with the next one, we have employees are the heart of a business, but manual payrolls, delayed in salaries, or no appraisal systems frustrates employees. So, Peter, what risk do business face when HRs and payrolls are handled manually?
Absolutely. Nobody likes HRs. Even I never liked HR because they were always the ones to
Mm-hmm.
yada yada, say
Uh-huh.
some things and all of that. I actually have a buddy actually. I mean,
Okay.
Selva's at the back of it. Selva, your wife is an HR, huh? No offense, huh? So, so now when it comes to HR systems, basically, when it comes to large organizations, we have different leaves that reflects differently to people, different approvals, and basically we have to keep track. I keep using this keep track of everything because it's all recorded in the system. This HR software helps us enable to find us where each employee is to begin with when they check in, check out, from the check in, check out right to
Okay.
their payroll. So this HR system also enables us to track attendance, leaves, whatever types of leaves you want, maternity, paternity, uh, religious leave, birthdays. Some companies give birthdays. We're all able to track this. And here's the thing: usually the HR does this. They deduct leaves, they add leaves, but in the system, it's all fair. Everyone can see what are the leaves that they have,
Oh, nice.
what are the pending leaves. If they even have a case or they have a complaint, they log it to the HR, it goes for approval. Even if they're appraised, the KRAs, the goals are all set on the HR platform. You know.
Okay.
So what this creates is transparency, Siren. It creates transparency. Everything's transparent because the system is working itself. And so all the reports are automatically being generated. If I apply for
Okay.
leave, it's automatically there. It doesn't have to go to email, and then that email is forwarded to somebody's manager. Or if there's a two-level approval, it's forwarded to the manager, it's forwarded to HR. No, this
Okay.
everything is on the system. So you actually know that okay, if the manager's approval and we're waiting for HR confirmation, okay, it's tracked out there. Okay, why is the HR not communicating? Can I send him a reminder? Yes, you can send a reminder. So everything is
Okay.
sort of streamlined over here. Now coming to the payroll part, automatically all the people's information in the company is automatically synced to the payroll. This includes the salary details, the leaves, LOP, loss of pay. Everything's automatically gone to the payroll. It just needs to be approved. Obviously, we add a validation up there and it goes to the payroll. HR reviews it and runs the payroll, and that's about it.
Okay.
So everything's tracked over there. So somebody forgets to check in, check out, they can always request a regularization. But at the end of the day, they are accountable. There's no, oh, I'm going to go to HR. Maybe, the utilization or the contribution of the system lies on the employees as well, from the side, not
Okay.
only on the HR. The HR is more of the human resource manager that is
Okay.
managing the system over there. So it kind
Okay.
of makes things easier as well. It also creates a more lively environment. You don't always have to hit the HR.
And any stories from your experience?
Stories from my experiences, HR, all of the HR, for those who have implemented HR, they all like me. So I have a good experience. Me, I like it because I made everyone's life easier when it comes
Okay.
to HR. And we have 100% success go live rate because we sort of also specialize in HR. And also, again, we when it comes to HR, there's no monetary aspects to it directly, but there's indirectly. People are more happier. They use the system. Everything's being tracked off. Workflows are already implemented. It's just
Mm-hmm.
happier employees. That's what I've done. I've created
Mm-hmm.
happier employees and I've created a streamlined process there. So I've saved time as well. A lot of time has been saved. And obviously there was never a need to, have a full-fledged HR team, somebody's calculating leaves at the end of the day. Everything was so efficient that, it could be managed by one HR, it could be managed by two HR,
Yeah.
people this in the company. In fact, um, I've also helped a lot of companies also sort of like, even they help their blue collars workers. So example, when maintaining blue collar workers leaves and all of those, has to be done manually because they can't
Yeah.
go to the system, apply for leave. They're
Exactly.
not very tech savvy.
Correct.
In fact, some of them may not even have a smartphone. So the HR would directly enter the details on behalf of the blue collar workers. Upon entering those details, they would receive an SMS. So this is the utilization of a ERP integrated with the AT API, and they would receive an SMS saying that your leave is approved. And they would automatically get this. They
Okay.
would automatically know all of this. So the people platform has absolutely helped from blue collars to even white collar employees.
Nice.
Yeah.
Excellent. Thanks, Peter. So, Peter, for trading and retail's stock in money, stock outs equals to lost customers, overstock equals to waste of money. So, what are the risk of poor inventory management, Peter, if you can?
I think you said it quite well in the question itself, basically, because companies they need to have accurate stock tracking. When I say stock tracking, doesn't mean okay, I have 500 cigars, 2,000 cigarettes with me. No, no, you got to track it even down to the nitty gritty of things. What is my top paying customer for this item? When do I do a stock reorder? You know, what are my consignment items? Consignment items are items that where vendors give me the items and I pay them once I've sold those items.
Okay.
So inventory system is quite complicated in one sense. So, but the good thing about Zoho is they include their inventories module in their accounting software. So you have a full inventory evaluation. You can see how much Coca-Cola or how much any item, how many phones has been sold in a given month and by who as well.
Okay.
So tracking your stock and knowing when to reorder stock, knowing what stock not to order again, and knowing when to pay your vendors is all taken care by the centralized Zoho books and inventory system.
Okay. So, any client examples?
Client examples are, of course, there's always client example. I'm currently working with a cigar shop at the moment,
Okay.
and now the cigar shop, basically, they they were having an issue of integrating the inventory system with their POS. So
Okay.
I said, guys, what are you doing? They're like, okay, at the end of the day, they calculate everything, they count the money manually, they go to the system and they enter it over there. I'm like, you don't have to do that. This creates room for errors. This creates room for theft. This creates room so not proper uh, reevaluation of stock over there. So I said, guys, I will integrate your POS directly to your inventory and
Okay.
books account, and we can you can just work from there. And some of the issues that they had is, Peter, we sell cigars individually, we sell cigars in a pack. So how do
Yeah.
we manage the inventory of it? Because each cigar is individual. People buy the pack, they buy it individual. So we've done a couple of customization for units of measurements where you can sell a cigar separately or you can sell it in a pack and it will automatically reduce the stock. So if I open a pack and I sell the cigars separately, the stock would for the packs will get reduced, but it would still count as an item sold in the
Nice.
inventory. And also when it comes to branding, At the end of the day, how many Davidoffs, how many Cuban cigars have I sold? So we all know, okay, we need to keep a steady stock of Cuban cigars because it goes out the window. Or okay, yeah, when it comes to this brand of cigars, it doesn't sell that quite well. So maybe we don't have to uh, order it again. What are the credits that I owe the vendor? All of this is automatically tracked over there and directly integrated with your POS, where
Mm.
your settlement is generated at the end of the day, and everything is kept tracked of. So you know actually who was the cashier, who managed this inventory, and so on from there. Yeah.
Nice. Excellent. Thanks. Now, moving on with the next one. At the end of the day, management decision depends on clear data. Well, without real-time insights, leaders risk making wrong choices, and every company has unique needs that require customizations. So, Peter, what is the risks for CEOs to run without real-time dashboards?
Without real-time dashboards, CEOs are the head of the company. Obviously, we all know they make decisions.
Of
They
course.
play golf. They probably even come to the shop and smoke a cigar. But at the end of the day, they are the decision makers. In order to
Correct.
accurately make these decisions, I always say make an informed decision, make a calculated decision. Now, how can they make this decision? It's only based off data. Where can they find this data? ERP, CRM, books, payroll, HR, recruit, any operating tools, support, all of these systems are all integrated. Now, how can I see them confined together, Or if I have multiple organizations and I'm managing, how can I see them all confined together? We also specialize in analytic dashboard. At a glance, you click it up and you can see real-time data, real-time queries being run to portray or rather show these metrics to the CEO. Now, based on that, they can make their decisions. Based on data, they can make data-driven decisions. I always like to go with the word data-driven because it's backed by evidence. They know it's good to go sometimes to a gut feeling, but data-driven is always important. And we live in the world of information at the moment. Information is key. Sometimes we have too much
Mm-hmm.
information. The problem is not having information; it's about problem is having too much information. So, what information has to be shown to the CEO at the right time, when it has to
Correct.
be shown to him as well. And the final thing I would like to add over here is opportunity cost. Ask yourself, what is the cost of, not what is the cost of having it there, rather, what is the cost of not having it there? That's the opportunity cost that they would have to answer.
Mm.
And same thing goes with me, when it comes to project, when it comes to resource allocation. I always look at dashboard. I always look at uh, resource burn down charts, which resources are occupied, which resources are underoccupied. This helps me to be more efficient as well.
Okay, and what about customizations? How does Zoho Creator help?
Oh, absolutely. Zoho Creator is basically, if something's not possible in the default apps or in the apps that is provided, that is right there, Zoho Creator comes in to make sure that, yes, it is possible. So instead of saying no to a particular business or no to a particular client, we can say yes through Zoho Creator. Now, Zoho Creator is a sort of an application, how do I say, like, you put engines, you have the engine of the car, you have the wheels, you got all of that. So Creator, sometimes puts it together, it's also used to put it together, create custom applications to meet clients' needs. They might have some different requests or some unique requests or things that are not available in the software. No software is perfect.
Mm.
Obviously, Zoho also, it's a great software, but it's maybe not perfect to a point where somebody might say it meets 110% of my needs. Usually, but it does,
Yeah.
But for large organization, they have these nitty-gritties. They got these different approval requests, or they want to basically integrate with some third party, and things may not be possible in a default application. So what Zoho Creator does is it builds it separately in a different application and it integrates to the default application. So it sort of act like a an application that allows you to do your operations from your point of from a business point of view,
Mm.
meeting their operations, and it also syncs the data back to uh, a relevant platform. Let me give you an example now. A good example would be basically what happens is we CAFM system. Let me give you an example of a CAFM system, computer aided facility management. Zoho has this great uh, supporting ticketing system. And in the ticketing system, people raise their queries, they send emails or they give a call, and the support team, they log in their tickets out there. My AC is leaking, the radiator is off, the paint is coming off.
Correct.
This is a government client that manages 6,000 locations. Now what happens is, now the person or the representative would go, or the technician would go to the place, and they would, like, click photos, they would log the details, it
Yeah.
show what material were utilized, what was fixed. Now that application doesn't exist, and so there's no technical management software at the moment. There's a support software, but that is not there. So then the customer was just like, how do I use this? I'm happy with support, but that ticket has to go somewhere. It has to reach somebody. I don't want to be going back in an email,
Yeah.
because email is, they're receiving hundreds of support tickets, easily missed out. So I said, you know what, I'm going to create a custom software to Zoho Creator. In Zoho Creator, everything is going to be assigned to a manager or a technical lead, and they're going to assign the technicians to go and fix the issue based on what issue is it is. Could be a leak, could be welding job, could be, a cleanup job. Doesn't matter. It's going to be going. It would go through a technical lead and get assigned to the relevant person there. Like I said, this software doesn't exist, so I custom create this software to Zoho Creator. Upon going there, the technician will click a photo, a before and after picture, or when it's fixed, take the customer's signature directly there, then and there on his tablet, and send a completion status back to the ticketing platform,
Okay.
saying that the ticket is closed. So this is how Zoho Creator sort of helps you. It sort of acts as a
Nice.
middleware that integrates with other softwares that are good, but requires a bit of extra functionalities. This is where Zoho Creator comes in
Nice.
at the moment, and this is where Nurture Spark specializes in.
Excellent. So I
Yeah,
know now for my events, if I want to create something specially, I need to reach out to you, and
absolutely,
everything will be sorted even in my events. Because there are a
absolutely.
lot of things that, we need to keep a track of. But listening to you now, I feel I need to make sure I meet you not later, but immediately as soon as possible as we
Hey, if
can.
there's a problem, better call Nurture Spark.
Done. And Peter, if a CEO or a manager is listening right now, what risk are they taking by waiting to adapt to ERP?
The risk that they're taking is they're being left behind by the competition. The competition, most of them, whoever has come to me rather, a lot of softwares out there, they've always increased efficiency. When people pay me for my service, I never say it's a cost to them. It's an investment. If they're not going to get back their money in a year, in 2 years, at max, then it's not a good investment. Okay, so at first they already know that they're making money. They're going to make money by increasing their efficiency. They're going to make more money by utilizing the system. So if any CEO or manager doubts that, they don't require this system, ask yourself, what are other people doing in the industry? Are they using the software? Those who have used the software, how efficient have they been? You probably can go on Nurture Spark's LinkedIn account and see some of the success stories that have come out of there for people who are not using the system and people using the system, and how they have increased in efficiency. And these are not, clients that I have told them to do the testimonial on. These are actual real life clients that have actually given their honest opinion on the software, because if it didn't save them time, they wouldn't do it. So the cost is, every entrepreneur, any manager, or any CEO would want to run their business with ease. They would always want to achieve one thing, is to make sure that their business is running and they have control over the business and they can see what's going on. You know, Forget the micromanagement. Forget all of the uh, other things. The tacit knowledge that they can't see. They all want to run their business at a high level, have complete control over the data. If you want this to happen, you want to chill on a beach in Miami, you know, and you want to see how your business is running, you should take this off. If not, if you don't want to do all of that, you actually want to get into nitty-gritty, see what's happening on an Excel sheet, do things manually, then probably, you're not
Yeah.
missing much by not coming to us. But if you actually want someday automate and streamline your process without you being there, or you uh, letting your business run and grow by itself, self-sufficient business, you have to, you could, or you should use an ERP system such as Zoho.
So, and what would be the first step that they should take?
The first step that they should take is, I'll send my number to them and they can give me a call, and I would solution it to them. The first step is obviously realization that yes, they require a software, and they can contact me and I would definitely provide them world-class service, and ensure that till the very end they're utilizing the system and they've gone live with the system.
Well, perfect. Thank you, Peter. Thank you so much. Thank you for those insights. And for our listeners, thank you for being here with us. If you want to know anything more about Zoho ERPs or can help you in business save money, increase revenue, and operate efficiently, connect with us for a consultation. And don't wait until efficiencies cost you more. So get in touch with Peter, of course, from Nurture Spark. And thank you to 360 Talks for having us here today. So take care, and we'll get back to you with some more.
Thank you all. Thank you. And do contact me if you require any of the applications as well. I won't let you down. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you all. Thank you, Peter.
Thank you.